Welcome back to the Peruvian Waltz podcast. We are here 5 minutes early, and as always, I'm joining you from Lima, Peru. How are you all? First of all, we're joined by a returning panelist. It was only 2 episodes ago that he was here, but it's 4 weeks now. Diego Montalban, how are you?
Good. I'm good. How are all you guys?
You know, I always forget where you're based in the USA. Massachusetts, am I right?
Well, I'm in Rhode Island right now.
Rhode Island, yeah, that state that isn't an island nor a peninsula.
That's right, exactly. The smallest state in the U.S.
I think Delaware has something to say about that. But anyways, we're also joined by a new panelist who actually happens to be Diego's brother, and that is Kevin Montalban. And I call them twins, but they're not actually twins. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing good, Brian. How's everything?
It's all good. Peter is once again not with us. Last week, I don't know if I mentioned that, I don't remember, but last week he had a cold, and this week he's crying over Benevente joining Pyramids FC. Which, that's actually not true. He's making up work days, but he'll be back with us next week. So, yeah. Let's begin. So, I think we should talk about the most important thing is the under-20s, and that's what we're going to start with. And, boy, has it been disappointing. That'll be an understatement, I think. The under-20s, I really expected a lot more from this team. I don't know about you two, but I really did expect a lot more. Because this is I wouldn't call it the golden generation for under 20s, but these players are performing quite well in the league. And I mean, to be fair, with 2013, yes, the Laú did win the under 20 Libertadores 2 years before. Alianza didn't do well in that tournament as well, and I guess there was more of an argument that the 2013 generation was going to be better. But this 2017 generation, I did expect a lot more. There's a lot of talent on this team, and they're performing in the league. They're getting chances. Well, most of them are anyways. The ones that didn't, Mora aside, well, not even Mora, the ones that didn't did underperform a little bit. I kind of doubted Mora for a second because he did play well today, but the other day he didn't. And I think it's been disappointing. So. Diego, why don't let's get like a brief summary of what you think, of your opinion, and then let's go more in depth. So, Diego, what do you think of this so far?
Absolutely. I agree with you. I've been a bit disappointed. I expected more. I feel like we've been too nervous. The game that we usually play, you don't see it. So that would be my short summary for now.
All right. And Kevin, what about you?
So I want to say that the team was nervous. You can see that from the get-go, both halves of both games, like the first halves, they're just completely getting overrun. So that's definitely something that needs to be worked on.
Okay. Well, I guess we can go more in depth now because it's we played 2 games. You've won one, lost one. In reality, like we have gone a bit lucky. I'd say in both games, we probably should have conceded more than one Paraguay game. Uruguay game, we were lucky that Darwin Nunez had some horrible finishing, and now I think that we got to go all out against Ecuador. I don't have much faith personally because this team hasn't showed anything unless Ahmed changes something. I personally think it's something psychological rather than how do you say it in English? How Ahmed sets up the game. I mean, yes, he does set up in a cowardly way. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
conservative.
Yeah. At the same time, though, I do think that these players are a bit nervous because, I mean, there's no excuse for Concha to play so poorly like he did today. And like, I know he's a bit rusty, but that's no excuse for making back passes that lead to Paraguayan breaks. There's no excuse to misplace so many passes. And I just don't get it. I really don't. Does anyone want to step in? And I guess we'll talk about the Uruguay game first.
Yeah.
But does anyone want to step in before I say something?
Sure. For the Uruguay game, like you said, it started off just nervous. Like you both said, nervous. It took them too long to get into the game. And even in the beginning of the second half, I feel like, all right, it started getting a little better. But it didn't get better until the subs came in. Once the subs came in, they gave us a new air, a new vigor to the game, more assertiveness, more of a rush to attack. And so I feel that yes, we got lucky against Uruguay, absolutely, because if they would have taken their chances and scored, then we would have lost, I think. But yeah, no, like against Uruguay, I believe we got lucky and we did okay second half, I guess I would say.
I would agree with that. I think that we did want to grind it out. It's not a result you normally expect from Peru. But yeah, performances can't continue like this. I think the overall quality of the squad is fine. I think it definitely showed. And I think Coach actually played that game better than he did today. I think that game when Coach came in as a sub, I thought he showed his class. But like he didn't affect the game too much, but he showed his class. Today he didn't do that at all. Today he was completely rusty and he misplaced so many important passes. He made so many mistakes as well. Like I feel like when the team isn't clicking, it's because he's not performing. I honestly feel that's one of the biggest problems. And yeah, Marcos Lopez has been very underwhelming in this tournament so far. I mean, he did well in the second half against Uruguay, but in this match he was useless. He didn't really show up. And yeah, I think that I didn't like it. I have a lot of thoughts on the Paraguay game, especially with Pacheco in general. But let's let Kevin talk about the Uruguay game first. So, Kevin, what do you think of that? The first game we played.
All right, so I do feel like we were just kind of hanging on until the subs came in, and then I guess that changed morale. Pacheco came, like I said, I told Diego once before, it was like he came in with all the sauce. Like he just. And you could see everyone started getting into the game, flowing. But it's taking too long. It's taking too long, and I feel like we don't have an effective striker to really just get those goals in for us. As far as Uruguay, those 3 points were golden. Golden. A draw could have easily occurred at the very least there. And that's kind of my summary for the Uruguay game.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
I want to say something about the strikers that you bring up, Kevin, because I think I disagree with you a little bit because I feel like we have two different types of strikers in Olivares and Gonzalez, right? But the systems that were used to play they don't necessarily benefit them, I guess I would say. Against Uruguay, I understand why Gonzalez was there to hold up play, and he's a bigger guy, so I guess to fight with the center backs, the Uruguayan center backs. But I feel like today Olivares. I mean, that's me getting into the Uruguay game though. I feel like just the long ball that we played too much. It didn't help for his case.
Okay.
Yeah, it is such a headache for Ahmed personally because the first game we saw. Well, I'm not going to go into Tabata because I think Tabata has been kind of consistent in these two games. But particularly Gonzalez, who looked okay in the first game, not great. He looked okay. I thought Olivares really had to come in at some point in the first game. But player Mora did not play well. Pacheco played well in the first game. And the second game was the opposite. In the second game, Mora came in as a sub. He came on brilliantly. Maybe not brilliantly, but he came on. He came on well. He did well. I think he can still do better, but he did come on well, and I think he should be starting for the next game. But that's why I'm saying it's a headache because Pacheco was terrible today. I mean, he played a few. I'd say the first 30 minutes were good for him, but after that, he got dispossessed so easily. Like, wouldn't last 2 seconds on the ball, and I wouldn't start him in the next game because I think he does come on better as a sub. I think he showed that like the more fit he is, the more willingness he has to drive forward, because that's the one bright thing I could say about Pacheco. He drove forward. He didn't look back. He didn't do a grand Eddie Polo and just pass it back. So I think that is I think that Pacheco personally should be in the sub. I think he works better there. And Mora, if he underperforms in the next game, then I guess you just put Pacheco at halftime again, which that seemed to work quite well against Uruguay. So yeah, I think Mora is a brilliant talent, but he really needs to step up a little bit. And I think he today he really went out for the kill. Again, he wasn't at his best, but I think he did it. Now, as for my thoughts on the game against Uruguay, I didn't really get to it, but I guess I can briefly sum it. I briefly summed it up already. Um, yeah, I agree with Diego and Kevin. I think that the 3 points were golden, but we did get a bit lucky. We grinded it out, like I said, which is good. We need to learn to grind out opponents. We need to learn to accept wins without playing well. It was definitely better performance than what we saw today. At least Peru periods did play some good football, did create chances. Whereas today it was just hopeless all 90 minutes. But I think that I think that we gotta accept winning like that sometimes. So I mean that's a testament of a good team. But we gotta do consistently, not just in one match. Because if we do it just in one match, then yes, it is luck. It's not just grinding it out. So I definitely think that is the key. And yeah, Darwin Nunez played a really bad game for Uruguay. They should have equalized in the last 5 minutes because the last 5 minutes got the most chances.
Right.
And I thought Emir Franco was very good in this game, and I'll get more to that in the second game because I think he's a very good keeper. He's actually shut me up quite a bit. So yeah. Now, what do you think of today's game? I'll let Kevin go first. Let's do it in reverse.
All right, so I'll start with Franco. I think he wasn't even part of the squad that went to Russia sparring, so he for me he was a surprise. I didn't know much about him going into both of these games, but he's held his own. He's saved quite a few shots, and he's definitely been put to work this tournament. As far as the Paraguay game, Pacheco, I can't be too critical of him because he seemed like our only outlet for most of the game. I think everyone just tried to give it to him and just see what happens. Anytime I saw him with the ball, all I saw was Olivares with like two center backs and nothing. So that actually, to me, that I could bring up a critique on Marcos Lopez. I haven't seen anything that I expected from him. I think he might be the one I'd relegate to the bench for the next match and try to see where we can go with Pacheco on the left, Mora on the right, and then dealer's choice on the striker, I guess. The midfield, Paraguay had lungs for days. They were just all over us.
Ojeda dominated that midfield. That's a Nyamandu. I think they were quite good personally. So, you got to keep going on, Kevin. What were you finishing up?
My last piece on that was, I think Tandazo kind of felt like he was on an island. He was just trying to. He had moments where he tried to surprise the goalkeeper. Man, that for me would have been amazing if he had gotten to a little bit sooner. And that's about it. You could tell the man was done by the time he was subbed out.
Yeah, no, that's a great work right there. I was definitely quite impressed. I do think he had his limits, but he hasn't debuted in Primera yet, so that's typical. I mean, when you debut in Primera, you do develop a lot more, and it's not just about playing and getting better. I'm talking about like development in general. Like well, that's not always true, but I think when Olivares debuted in the Primera Division, he was very limited as well, and he's really grown into quite a player. He didn't show it today, but I think I do still rate him, and I don't want to play him in the next match, but I do think he has something about him to show off still. Okay, well, Diego, what do you think of the Paraguay match? I'll let you go next.
Yeah. Well, first I wanted to talk because you guys were talking about the midfield, and I wanted to refer to Peter's tweet that he put up a picture where our midfield was nowhere to be seen at that moment. And that's how I felt where many stretches where I didn't know where our midfield was. There was nothing, there was no fluidity to it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But to the match, again, Paraguay were just winners of that game. I feel again, we started off slow, and yeah, I get Pacheco, Concha, Olivares. They got their start, and Pacheco and Concha deservedly so based on the first game. I get that, but this game, I feel like they didn't show what they showed in the first game. That in that first game they showed intensity. They showed a willingness to attack, and yes, in the beginning I feel like we did a little bit, but it was just I don't know. I think that long ball, I saw too much of it, and I feel like that just tired out Pacheco. And then when Mora came on too, Mora, from the little that I've seen of Mora play, I feel like he does great when he has the ball at his feet and he takes on defenders. But you're giving him the ball to run in, you're just tiring him out. Going into duels against one or two Paraguayan defenders, you're just tiring him out. And I feel like that backfired for us. Like, and also the midfield. We're better at holding the ball, having the ball, possession, and I feel like we didn't have that. And that's on the coaching staff. And like Ahmed said, he said, that was my fault. So hopefully he fixes it for next game. And like you said, we go all out. They need to go all out. There's nothing but a win.
Okay, well, I think I agree with Mora. I don't know the exact English translation, but Mora is a Quimboso player. Like I don't know the exact translation of that, but he's a typical Peruvian player from the 1970s on the wing. Like
exactly.
very technical, as very good at beating his man, and he kind of reminds me. I don't want to go into hasty comparisons and say he's the next Farfan, which that's not too soon. But right now. Right now, I've been told that I can compare it to Basan, who's also a promise at this age. And I definitely hope he doesn't end up like Basan. I hope he ends up like Farfan. But right now, that's the fair comparison, I think. Because Basan was also a promise when he first started at Alianza, when they had that run the Libertadores, the 2011 T20 Libertadores. Yeah. So, I guess you could also, if you want to compare styles, you could also compare Mora to Carrillo, just that Kimba he possesses. But I wouldn't call him that either, because he has better. I think he has better end product than Carrillo, even at this age. Because Carrillo, even in Saudi Arabia, a bit of scenes of him, he just goes up the wing and then just sends it outside the stadium. He sends rockets out with his crosses. It's really a shame to see, but that is Carrillo for you. But yeah, anyways. Peter's in the chat. I want to say hi to him. Hi, Peter. Ozing's father defending his son. I see. I didn't see you defending your son, Lopez. So
look, I will say this. Based on what we've seen in these two games, we can see that Peru has talent. There are talented players on that team, but either maybe the schematics, the tactics, something's not going through, or B is just they're too much in their heads and getting too nervous about the game and thinking of how much this means to Peru and how much this means to the team, how much this means to them and Ahmed too. I don't know which one it is, but it's one of those. It has to be.
Yeah, no. Now I guess we could talk about the next game because we started the podcast a little early. We've been talking about this for 20 minutes now. I guess we'll talk about the next game. It really is Ecuador or bust. I mean, we can realistically get a draw against them and then beat Argentina, but we shouldn't count on that. I think more likely we got to beat Ecuador and then tie Argentina. The reason I say this is not because I think Argentina are better than Ecuador. They showed today that they clearly aren't. But I do think that Argentina showed more talent. Argentina showed the most talent in this entire tournament. I mean, Venezuela has been the best unit. They've showed some real talent, but Argentina has shown the best. That's just what I think. The problem is Argentina can't click because they're too individual.
Yeah, the individualistic talent. Yeah,
that's my main worry, because with the fullbacks we have, and that's a whole other topic. The Peruvian football is now producing new fullbacks. The fullbacks we have, Argentina is going to tear them apart. Julian Alvarez is going to have a field day against Dylan Caro. So I'm not too excited for that. But that's why I think Ecuador is a better match for us. Because, I mean, yeah, Ecuador has some very tricky players like Gonzalo Plata and Alexander Alvarado. But I personally think that Argentina's wingers are better. That's all I'm going to say. And
I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
Would you think, just because you brought up Dylan Caro, and I was thinking about this earlier, would you say that he is the weak link on the side?
I don't know. He seems like the Cristian Ramos to this team. Like he's inconsistent, very inconsistent in spells. He has some good spells in the game and some bad ones. Just like Cristian Ramos looks for the national team.
Right.
What does Kevin think?
I think the expectation was for Rojas to be the more defensive fullback and Caro to be more offensive. And I haven't seen that this tournament. I've seen him grow defensively. I see him like beat his man a lot, jump in front of the ball. So he's getting better at that, but it's not fast enough. It's not fast enough. I would say that you could call him the weak link in the defense because I think the center backs have been solid. I think, the goalkeeper's been solid. Rojas has done good combinations.
Franco's been the bright spot. Franco's been one of the bright spots for me.
Franco, Huerto in the first game. I think Velarde was better in this game. Because I saw him cut down several times on all the Paraguayan offensive attacks.
Now, I know we usually don't ask the questions, but I have another question for you guys. If for some reason we decide that Dylan Caro is the weak link, right? Let's just say, would we be okay with dropping Marcos Lopez back and bringing in Pacheco or I don't know, somebody else?
That's a good question. You put me on the spot there. I like I said, I think Marcos Lopez is a star in the making as a winger, but we haven't seen that in this tournament yet, so that might not be the worst idea. And that Dylan Caro, he's making me really insecure at times. Like he's very shaky at the back.
Exactly, yeah.
Like I said, he's like Cristian Ramos. Like he has his moments where he's looking terrible at the back and looking very insecure, but also the moments when he's looking all right. Like at the end of the first half, I thought Caro improved a lot, and at the second half, I didn't think he was that bad either. But the first 30 minutes was just terror. Like I wasn't very comfortable at all with him. So that's my main concern. It really shows. I mean, the Segunda División is a professional league, but it's almost amateur, really. Like you have some professional players, but most of them come from Copa Peru, and it's like almost amateur. The clubs are basically amateur.
Yeah.
So that's one of the problems. Like a U17 and U15 level is acceptable, but not a U20, I think, because U20 there's more physicality, more players are playing the professional leagues.
Right.
Well, Peru being arguably the weakest league in South America, I'm not sure I'm so comfortable having a second-tier player on the starting 11, unless he's Messi, which he's not. Then
right.
that is a problem, I think.
Okay.
So,
how about you, Kevin?
I think that the Ecuador match is key. I mean, I thought we were supposed to. I think the Ecuador match is key, and I think it's time to throw everything in the kitchen sink. If we need to put Lopez as left back, Pacheco more up top, Pretel, Tavara, and Concha, just to try to get some kind of chemistry going in the midfield, we got to do it. I think we can't lose another match. It's not, the points won't work out.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And I think we got to go for the win in this one because I don't think we'll beat Argentina. I really don't. I think we can get a draw against them because, like I said, they're too individual. I don't see them scoring that many, especially not against us. I don't think they'll beat us. I don't think they'll thrash us or anything. I think they might beat us, but not like a 5-0, even if our defense is very shaky. But yeah, Ahmed has a real headache because, like I said, Pacheco played awful today. But I'm not convinced that he's always like that. Like he's shown his true colors, his style colors, because this whole season was awful. Really, let's be fair. And but I don't think he is. I don't think he really is as bad as he showed today. Like today was a general 1 out of 10. And I'm not sure about that. Mora has to play more. I mean, I never lost my faith in him. I just thought it was a bad game. And I was a bit worried that he was going to show it again. Luckily, he didn't. He came on as a sub and he looked quite good. He showed his talent. He wasn't excellent, mind you, but he put composed crosses and he made a few, I guess you could say, Kimba plays where he will be his man who's winning fouls. So yeah, not the best performance from him, but a lot better than the other day. I think there's no doubt on that. Because the other day he hardly looked like a professional footballer. Today he actually looked quite good. I think it's hard to disagree on that one.
No, yeah. I think the moments that, like I said, the moments that they gave him the ball at his feet, he tried to create and he did the best that he could. But the moments where they just passed the ball in the air to him to go for a duel, that was just tough.
That was silly because he's not a top player. I noticed that as well. When he was trying to win, a header, but he would just be outbeaten because the Paraguayans are taller.
Exactly.
Not a top player. It's like when Farfan tries to win a header in the national team. I mean, he can do it. But most of the time, the players are taller than him. So
yeah, 1 out of 10.
I don't know if I say that, but that like when Farfan plays for the national team, he has good heading. It's just that he's not that tall. That's why Guerrero was such a miss in the striker role. It's not that he was bad. It's just that he's not a target man like Guerrero is.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess that's gonna do it for the under-20s. Let's go to the questions first before we go to the Garcilaso versus La Guaira preview. I'm just looking for them. Hold up. Okay. Okay. First question is from Luisa Wayo at LAYO98 says, your thoughts on Christian Cueva not being able to adapt to 2 teams leagues now, Sao Paulo and Krasnodar. How much of this situation falls strictly on him, and do you foresee possible implications for national team consideration down the road if this continues? Just to answer the last question quickly, no, I think Christian Cueva is mandatory in the national team because, well, now that Benavente moved to Egypt, which we'll get to later, he's kind of lost his place. And there's no one else in 10 really. He was called up in November, and we really showed we missed him. So I don't think he's going. I think he could be playing for Unión Comercio and he still get called up as long as he's actually performing. Well, if he's performing in Unión Comercio, let's pretend, okay? But but the point is, I think he needs to be called up because he performs every time for the national team. Even in the World Cup, when people criticized him, I thought he was pretty good there. He just missed the penalty. That's about it. But he was pretty good there. So, what do you guys think of this? I'll read the question again because it was kind of long. Your thoughts on Cueva not being able to adapt to 2 teams and languages? No, not two teams and leagues. And how much of this situation falls strictly on him? So, I'll let Kevin go first.
Okay, so for starters, Brazil, the teams there are complicated, man. They don't hold on to coaches. You see turnover of coaches like so many times every season, and that complicated. Like you see Trauco, he came in hot when he was at Flamengo, changed. He obviously he screwed up a few times, but then you see the changes, boom, gone, boom. Now after like 5 coaches, you have a coach Braga that's like, yeah, I want him to stay. I could find a use for him. I think something similar happened with Cueva. Obviously, there was like some indiscipline because he would stay in Peru longer on his vacations, but I don't think that counted too much against him because when he did that, he was hot. Like that's when they gave him the 10. That's when they wanted to renew him and everything. So I don't see that as a big problem. I think Sao Paulo was just going into the hole because of the manager changes, selling players, and then people wanted to take it on whoever. He had the 10. As far as Krasnodar, I mean, even Farfan needed to adapt to the Russian league, and Farfan is probably like our most talented player in the last, I don't know,
this century, you could say, since 2000.
Definitely. So I'm like, I'm not surprised that it's taking Cueva time to adapt. And if you look at it, he's getting more starts as time goes on, and it looks like they really want to keep him. And he played this friendly today against Basel, against Zambrano, who actually played, who was a starter for Basel, and I see it that I don't think he's gonna leave Krasnodar. Personally, I don't think he's gonna leave it. I don't think Krasnodar is gonna take a loss for a player that they just bought. And if they don't sell him, what's he gonna do? He just gotta get used to it.
I'm starting to feel he shouldn't either because not only because they're fighting for the title, but I feel like he's going to get more game time now because I feel like they're starting to realize his talent because he has been getting a bit more game time before the break started. Now the break can obviously change a lot, but I'm not sure exactly how it works in Russia, how impatient they are, or I guess it's just how impatient they are, kind of like the Brazilians and the Italians that are very impatient. So I'm not too sure, but I think that I feel like Cueva should stay. But if they're going to offer him limited playing time, then he's always got to go, and he always wants to stay closer to his family. But I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted on this one. Now, I'll let Diego answer the second question. It's kind of related to the under-20s again. Well, no, and that kind of it is. What is missing from the Peruvian under-20s attack? We seem to struggle to create anything. Oh, the usual assets, Abel Camara and Avelanda 81. What do you think?
What I think is missing is, like I stated before, I think one, we need to figure out what we're playing at. You know, what the kids are most comfortable at. And clearly, I don't think that they are good in that long ball. I think we need to go back to the possession base, and someone needs to talk to the kids and tell them, don't be nervous. I get that there's a lot on your shoulders, but go out and play your game. Like I said, most of these kids are talented. There's a lot of talent on there. Just go out and play your game. If you play your game, you're gonna be able to do it. That's what I think. Go back to basics, pretty much, right now.
Yeah, you definitely got to give them confidence, but we also got to stop being so conservative. That's another thing.
Absolutely.
But again, I think it's something psychological more than
right.
Just the mid's preparation for games. So yeah, that's definitely the worry there. Now, I guess we can move on to the regular season versus the wider preview.
There's another question.
Yeah, no, we got a last minute question, but it kind of relates to a topic we're talking later. So I think we'll kind of transition it. So okay. I think for now we're going to talk about Garcilaso versus Loaida. Now it goes tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern time, 6:30 Peru time, and I want to say I'm excited, but then I'm going to get to the match and I'm going to end up very disappointed. So that's my main worry. Okay, so just a little bit of backstory on Real Garcilaso before we get to the match. Not on the club itself, but how their preseason has been going. They've been making some very good signings, but about midway near the end of their preseason, they've started to. And Christopher kind of explained it last week. He would know the situation more than me. But there's been kind of a problem where a lot of the players are getting there, and then they've been signing false contracts, I guess you could say, and it's been mistreated. Examples: Olacuaga, Alfredo Carrillo. There was someone else, and Mian he actually had a different problem. I think it's the Comando Técnico, I guess you could say, didn't really want them, which I think is absurd. I don't know why they prefer Manco over Don Mian, but it's they didn't want him. That's how it went down. So now they've had a lot of ethics problems, and I think that is I don't think that's going to affect them. I certainly don't. Certainly hope it doesn't. I mean, in the league, I could care less how they do, but I think in the Libertadores, I want them to do well. And I think they have a winnable tie. Now, the Guaira, I don't know much about them. I know that they lost their forwards. They lost 4 forwards, including one of the best players from Tunisia. And they just signed Archimedes Figuera to play for La U. So that could either be a bonus or a plus for Garcilaso. Or a bonus or a plus. That could either be a bonus or negative for Garcilaso. Negative because he is a pretty good midfielder. He's very effective in the middle. But the bonus is he's very prone to getting red cards. And we saw that in Peru. So I think that could definitely help Garcilaso. So enough about backstories. Does anyone want to jump in on what they think of this clash?
So I guess I could jump in on this one. Garcilaso is not my favorite team. I'll put that out there. And the president and directors are not. I'm not a fan, but they're in Cusco. They should be able to play very strong at home. Obviously, this game is away, so I think they just really need to do what they can to get any kind of result. and then just wrap it up at home. Wrap it up at home. Venezuelan teams really don't do well in the altitude, so they got to play that for every advantage it's worth.
Hey, yeah, no, I think that I'm kind of hoping for a draw in this match. I don't have much faith in Garcilaso are going to win. I mean, the White again aren't great, but Venezuelan teams are prone to shocking some teams. I mean, this team beat Emelec 2 seasons ago, and that was when Emelec was, well, I guess they're still strong now, but they were stronger like 2 seasons ago. That Angel Mena, Miller Bolaños, when they had those players. I think Strakalursi was also there. Well, no, Miller Bolaños wasn't there, but it was Strakalursi, Angel Mena. It was a very good team. And La Guaira did shock them. So Venezuelan teams are prone to shocking other teams. Let's not forget that the pitches are usually awful as well, so that doesn't help. And I think that Garcilaso at home, they should get the job done. One thing I should mention is La Guaira have been preparing in La Paz. And La Guaira's been preparing in La Paz, but they've lost all their friendlies by thrashings. They've lost the always ready. I think they played Bolivar in the strongest. I don't remember which they played both, but they've lost the games by 2 goals plus. And I don't know if that makes me comfortable. I mean, La Paz is definitely a stronger altitude than Cusco, but I do think that the White will struggle in Cusco, and I hope they do, because I really want Garcilaso to go through. And I think Garcilaso have a pretty favorable path to the group stages as well, because Atlético Nacional have lost a lot of players as well, and they don't have a midfield. They don't have center backs at the moment. So they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle. Even I think even a White might give them a go.
And they're going through their own internal struggles as well.
Yeah, for sure. So I think La White, or not La White, I think that Garcilaso really needs to get a win here. I'll be a bit disappointed if they don't. But with Peruvian teams, you can never count them out on messing up. So we just got to see what happens. Any other thoughts you want to
add? I think I would have been more worried if the first game was in Cusco, since I think they were in La Paz for like 20 days, but getting acclimated and whatnot. But since they have to go back to Venezuela, they basically lose that little edge of getting used to the altitude. I know for myself, anytime I go to the altitude, leave, come back, killer.
You got to reacclimate yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't build up the tolerance.
When I interviewed Pierre Larrauri about a year ago, he said the same thing, that when you play in Cusco, you don't feel the altitude when you come back, and I feel like it's just a few days as well, maybe not even. But I think about Cusco altitude, and this might just be because I'm Peruvian, and it might just be because I'm Peruvian, but I think Cusco altitude for me isn't really that strong. I mean, when last time I went to Cusco, I felt that this strongly the first day. But the second day, I remember I was taking pictures for the Silver final, and I ran across the whole pitch and didn't lose my breath. So I don't think I think that if the White are I feel like most teams will never go to Cusco. They go on the day. They usually stay in Lima and then they go to Cusco on the same day of the game. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes you can make. I made that point last year when Garcilaso beat Santos, and I stand by it. So
absolutely.
I think that the White did. I don't want to say they wasted their time in La Paz. I mean, they're getting used to other tactics like long ball shooting, which I guess doesn't go away. But if they just want to breathe better, then it's not really going to work. Let's be fair.
Absolutely, right. I agree 100%. You need more than a day to acclimate yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what messed them up is that they're playing the home like first. So I think that is I think it was killer. Anyways, let's go to the last section of the podcast, and let's transition it with a question. We're going to talk about Peruvians abroad, and the big news coming out today, no one saw it coming because it literally came out of the blue. Here's the question. Thoughts on Benavente going to Egypt and following the trend of Peruvian players going to bizarre low-quality leagues? So I'll let Diego answer this one first. What are your initial thoughts?
Oh, man. Like I tweeted earlier, I was waiting on news from Cristian Cueva to Independiente or whatever, and then all of a sudden, I thought it was a joke when I first saw it. I told Kevin I thought it was a joke. I didn't even think about it. Then you texted it in the group chat, and I was like, let me look back. And I said, wait, what? I looked at Pyramids FC Twitter, and I was like, no way. I cannot believe this. Why did this happen? How did this happen? I'm still in shock. But I will say this. Now that I've had a little bit of time to think about it, I'm not gonna jump the gun and say, "Oh my God, your career is over," or anything like that, because it's not. But I do think it is a step down. I understand, if there's players that think about their financials, and there's others that want awards and trophies. And in this case, I think he went for financial, and that's fine. That's on him if that's what he wants. But I think that he loses a step there with La Blanquirroja.
Now, one thing I should mention is I don't think the Egyptian league is much worse, if at all, than the Peruvian league. But
Right.
it's still the same concept. I mean, we don't want Benavente going to Sporting Cristal or Alianza. We want them to
Absolutely.
take a step up. That's kind of the same concept of going to Egypt. And like I said, I don't think the Egyptian league is a lot worse than the Peruvian league. But I mean, I like that it's the team with the most trophies in the world, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But I do think that he's taking a step down regardless, and it doesn't really make sense. Kevin, what do you think of this move? What are your initial thoughts?
Obviously, I was surprised. It just took me. I thought it was a joke. I thought, like someone just kind of made up the, Umo, and then I saw like the banner of him at Pyramid FC, and I was like, damn. I needed to to cope with that for a sec. I think it's just so strange because I think I had seen him linked to like Wolfsburg and to like Anderlecht. I think, is that how you call it?
Anderlecht, yeah. That's what surprised me.
So I'm like, it looked like his career was gonna take a. I'm not gonna say he's a world beater, but maybe a mid-table team in Bundesliga or a big team in like Portugal or something like that. And I didn't see this coming.
I actually think the Belgian league is better in Portugal these days. The Portuguese league is really taking a step back in recent times. I think Dale can agree with that as well, because Dale follows all Champions League.
Right.
So
I would say more for development, more for jumping from South America to Europe. I think that's what it is.
I think so as well, but I think that the Belgian league has had a lot more quality coming through. Like just two examples right off the bat: Ndidi and Koulibaly, who came from both. Right. I think they both came from Genk actually.
Yep.
And it's a very good feeder league. It's one of the better ones, I think. So it's it's a bizarre move, but he chose the money. And one thing I wanted to mention, and this is kind of going back to the other 20s, is that this current generation of Peruvian players we have, this like the senior team, they're going by the Peruvian agents like Rede and I forgot the other name, but I think there's one that's also Flores and Tapia's same agent.
Casareto?
No, Casareto is a Carrillo's agent. This is a different one. Agref, I think that was their name. So there's Rede and Agref. They might even be the same people. I'm not sure. I remember, but they're not very good agents. I think that they're just there to fill their own pockets. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm sure they're great. I'm sure they're great people, but I mean, sending Carrillo Al Hilal. I mean, that was. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the club wanted him.
Right.
But there was surely more interest in that, and I know there was because I was reading the rumors. So I feel like Casareto really just wanted to send Al Hilal just to basically fill his own pockets. Now with the under 20 generation, there's a little more hope because the agents for them, I'm not sure if that's like their head-to-head agent. I'm sure they have a representative in Peru, but they're under Fernando Felicevic. Now I don't remember what the exact agency name is. They all have an agency name, like even Jorge Mendes. Is that his name? Ronaldo's agent, Jorge Mendes. I don't remember.
Jorge Mendes.
I'm pretty sure it's Jorge because it's Portuguese.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's pretty. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, Jorge Mendes. I forgot what his agency name is, but the point is his name.
I don't know his agency name.
I think it's
Mendes is too famous.
Yeah, he's too famous on his own.
The point is, players like Concha, Lopez, they're under Felicevic, and Felicevic, if you don't forget, he's the one who basically helped Sanchez and Vidal make their careers because he's the one who's powered them to big clubs. And I think he's a great agent. I think it's great for Peruvians to have him as the agent rather than Casareto, who's done nothing really. Like even Zambrano's brother is a better agent than him. I'm sorry. I mean, Zambrano's brother, he's not a professional, but at least he gets Zambrano to good clubs. In fairness, so Yeah, no, I think that I'm really happy the Felicio is there, and I hope something comes to them. But going back to the under 20s, I do think they have to show a little more for their own national team for it to happen. I mean, it's not all about videos and agencies. Like you have to show on the pitch as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Um,
that's obvious.
I wanted to mention something that because you brought up Carrillo and all these agents and stuff, and I feel like I I know that Carrillo had other options, right? But I kind of understand why he chose what he chose because he wasn't getting any minutes at all. Whereas with he was getting very little minutes. Whereas Benavente, he was a starter. So that's why it was mind boggling to me that he's a starter at his club, scoring goals, doing just fine. I thought he would take a step up, go somewhere bigger, and then this came out, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
And the worst part is that he has an EU passport, so that helps him a lot.
Exactly.
That helps him a lot with the rulings and whatnot.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't get it either. And yeah, I guess we could talk about one more thing before we end the pod. We'll end it a little bit earlier, but let's talk about Renato Tapia. I didn't actually see the game with the winning two, but he apparently played really well. He got into the volleyball league, which does kind of make me optimistic. It makes me think, should he go back to Feyenoord? I mean, I'm not saying he should stay at Willem too, but I think if he performs like this every week, if he performs like this week in, week out, I wouldn't give Feyenoord another chance. And like, if he does have a good Copa America, then he could get links to the clubs. And if he does get a link to the top 5 league, he should just take it instead of staying at Feyenoord where he's not going to get a chance. I mean, even if he performs well, I'm not convinced he'll go back and get a chance. I mean, that's what they told a lot of players, and that's what they told Tapia as well. They told him they were going to give him more chances, and they didn't. Right. So, I don't. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of Tapia's debut?
Go ahead, Kev.
So I think that Tapia is a very, I mean, he's like 22 now, but he's still a young player. He's still growing into it. He needs minutes. He needs minutes more than anything else. And whether that's at Willem, whether that's at Feyenoord or another league entirely, he's got to take it. He's got to take it because he's too young to just be sitting on a bench. It's not the right time for that, whether for his career or for the selección. So I'm happy to see him, and especially in the midfield.
I was just about to say that. I was just
Take it away.
That was the biggest thing for me. I got to catch glimpses of the game because I was at work, so I caught little pieces. And the little bit that I saw that he was playing obviously in the midfield and playing well, distributing passes, intercepting plays. So I'm happy that I'm happy he's just getting minutes and in the midfield, and that's only going to be better for Peru. And hopefully for his future as well, whether it's back at Feyenoord or at another club.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna give much more of an opinion. I'm just happy that he's getting minutes and he's doing well from what I hear. But I'm not gonna give much of an opinion because I didn't see a second of the game. I didn't even see highlights, so I can't really comment much on it. But I'm happy to hear he did well. So let's end the pod there. We're about 50 minutes, so we're gonna end it 10 minutes early, just like we started 10 minutes early. And let's. So my Twitter handle is B_Bertie98. Diego, what is yours?
Mine is at D Montalvan.
And what about you, Kevin?
At K Montalvan7.
Okay, and you can follow the Peruvian Waltz Twitter at Peru Waltz. And that's gonna end the pod. Thank you for joining us. This is the Peruvian Waltz team, and we are signing off.